Welcome into today's podcast, Fox Sports Shoals, Friday Night Football Live. You're on with Magic Man and the big guy, Mike Ezekiel and Matt Suleski. We're here every week, and you can catch us for some high school football, some college football, and even better, Matt, you can catch JD, Jimmy O, and yourself on 97.9 FM for the pregame and postgame show for high school football.
Yeah, very exciting. 5 to 7, me, Jimmy O, he's the host. JD's the producer, she's always with us. And then 9 to 10, we do a scoreboard edition. So tune in 97.9 on Friday nights.
And JD, he also producing for us right now, and we appreciate her doing that. And today we got a special guest on the show, Matt. We got UNA's running back, Taj Kimball. Taj, welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, everybody? I'm glad to be here with Magic Mike. Called me this morning, so I'm in here. Let's get it going.
All right, Taj. We appreciate you being on, man.
No problem, man.
And whenever you told me you'd be on, I was thrilled. And, you're a transfer from Boston College, and, you've been on the Division I level. So, talk about how that was, coming from Division I to Division II, and you just kind of go through the process there.
Yeah, I went to Boston College out of high school. My career was all right there. Ended up tearing my ACL my junior year, and we got new coaching, so it kind of didn't work out for me. Was looking for a place to play, coming from Boston College, and it was originally supposed to be the University of Southern Mississippi. Things didn't work out there. My grades were low, so I wouldn't be able to transfer D1 to D1 AA. So the coach there, he knew Coach Gross, and he got me in contact with Coach Gross. So we started talking from then, and from there I knew Coach Gross was, talking over the phone with him, he seemed like the man. So I knew I was coming into a nice program, good program. And so I decided to come here. I'm here now, playing football. Glad we won the conference championship, so I'm a happy man.
Hey, and you're exactly right, Taj. We sure did win the conference championship. Last week we got a big win against our rival West Alabama for UNA. Won 24-16, and really it probably should have been 24-10, but they scored there at the last second, and Kyle Caldwell, the quarterback, he went out on top, I guess you could say, because that was his last game. But we got that win, got the conference championship. Second year in a row, Matt, that we're the conference champions. That's a big deal for UNA.
Yeah, 2 conference championships in a row. Unfortunately, I don't like where we're seated in the playoffs. I think that we cut a little shaft by the NCAA this year. But, it is what it is. UNA is they're such a good football team. The offense is getting better. Addition like Taj Kimball, 2 other great running backs, and Diamond Simmons, Lamonte Thompson. Some really big playmakers like Devlin Carpenter, receiver. They can really make plays. So, their fate's in their hands. So I think even with the 4 seed, I think they should have been higher. I think they're better than Tuskegee is, and I think they should have been seeded 3. But it's still up to them to take care of business, and I think they will. But before we get there, great that they got another conference championship. They've lost 1 game in Division II 2 years. Unfortunately, Delta State was the team that beat UNA both years in Division II. Beat them by 3 last year and by 5. So every game UNA's in is very competitive. They're not getting beat down. So UNA's got a bright future, and they've got a bright present looking forward to the playoffs.
You're exactly right. And I just want to get this in. You were talking about how the seeding there in the Super Region 2, of course, we match up with 2 other conferences. Lenore won their conference, and they went undefeated. So, yes, they deserve to be number 1. And Delta State obviously deserves to be number 2 because they got the head-to-head over us. We're co-champions. But then number 3, Tuskegee, they won their conference barely. But if you really look at that Super Region, I really think we're the stronger team, and I really think we should have been 3. So you're pretty much right that we did get shafted there. But, playing Valdosta State, that's going to be a tough game. But, like you're talking about the additions we had, we feel pretty good about ourselves. And Taj is one of those additions. And Taj, let's talk about, being in the backfield there with Lamonte and Diamond. Those 2 have been established for us, running for 2 years. And then Coach Gross and Coach Wallace and some other guys bring you in. And, you've been a big contributor for us. So, talk about what it's like to work with those 2 guys.
It's like, just like Coach Gross told me, 2 guys that are unselfish and just all about winning, all about working hard. And that's exactly what I came into. We all know what we have to do, and they did a good job bringing me in and kind of guiding me along, teaching me the offense. They know it like the back of their hand, and I know it good. I know game plan to game plan, week to week. But as far as the whole offense, I'm still learning. They do a good job helping me whenever I need help. Those guys, they're 2 hard-working guys that you can see on the field. It's to the point where any one of us can go in at any time, and we know what we're doing. So, they've done a good job bringing me along the way, and I appreciate them a lot. And it's been a pleasure to work with those two guys.
Absolutely right. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, just seems like a lot of mutual respect there. But I got to ask you, Taj, when you're on the sideline, let's say Diamond's having a good game or Lamonte's having a good game. I know you're still chomping at the bit to get in there, but just talk about how you still everybody supports everybody, and winning is the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. I'm the type of guy, things gonna happen how they happen, and the main thing is not to be selfish, and to me, I want to win. Stats are one thing. To me, I would love to have a good stats, and I would love to be in the game, but at the same time, those guys are working hard too, and they deserve every bit of playing time and every bit of carries and every bit of success that they're getting. They deserve all of that. So the thing with me is that they brought me in and they were unselfish with me, so I can't be selfish in that. Like, I want every single carry, which any player should, but in reality, it's not going to be like that. And when you got two other guys that are that good, it's kind of hard to be selfish. So they know it too. Every time they score, I'm walking on the field and I'm right there. We celebrating, we jumping, clapping hands or something. And if I don't get that, I'm coming to on the sideline. Good job, let's keep it going. So
Absolutely.
That's just how it is with us.
Well, we had Coach Gross earlier this year on the show, and he said, I think one game Lamonte had a lot of carries, and you or Diamond had a smaller number. And he said, he goes, I really was giving it to Lamonte, had the hot hand. He said, but I like to get these other guys involved. He said, not to give Lamonte a rest, because I've got two other guys on the sideline that can produce at such a high level. He said, so I want to get all three of these guys on the field because they're all so good, And so I think, and even though we spread the ball out a little bit more now, we're still predicated on the run game, and I know how important it is for you and Diamond and Lamonte to really get it going and open the passing game up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Taj, I want to throw this out there. It's a team sport, and you're exactly right. We've talked about this with the quarterbacks. We had Wingo and Tucker both on the show, and Matt made the comment both of those guys could probably start on any other team in the Division II level. And I really feel that way about our running backs. I think Diamond could really start anywhere. And even Coach Gross said Diamond was a steal coming out of high school. He probably could have went somewhere a lot better. I think he's a 2-star prospect. But, first time he touches the ball, he takes it to the house. It was in his first year, which was incredible. And he had a good game last week. And then bringing in Taj, and Todd, you've really been a big contributor to the team as well. And, lately, you've been limited on your carries and stuff, but you've still been contributing in other ways. So, just talk about how you feel about that, just contributing in any way you can.
I tell people all the time, you can only control what you can control.
That's right.
And when I'm in practice, I'm going hard, and sometimes the game's not going to turn out how it is in practice. You might get a lot of carries in practice, and then when it gets in the game, something changes up. Everything's not going to turn out exactly how you want. The way I am is sometimes you get a lot of opportunities, sometimes they're limited, but you never know when your last one's going to be. You never know how much you will get. So my mindset is just when I get in the game, I'm going to go as hard as I can while I'm in there. And that's just how I've taken every game. So whether I'm on special teams trying to make a tackle or whether I'm blocking for Lamonte or Diamond, it doesn't even matter. I'm just going to go hard and do what I can because ultimately I could be in the game getting 1,000 carries, but if we're not winning, then I'm not going to be a happy man. So I'm just in the game doing whatever I can, going 100%, make sure I try to do my part so that we can be successful.
Yeah, you're right. You haven't contributed in other ways, especially in special teams. But one thing I actually noticed, it was either against Shorter or the game before that. I don't know if you noticed this, Matt, but, both times that Wingo got intercepted in one of our games, Taj made both of the tackles, on the way back. So I was thinking Taj might need to move to defense, how tenacious he was getting to the ball and making that tackle. So, sometimes you got to do things like that. And those are the little things that people don't really think about because, what if we do get picked off or what if we do fumble the ball and we got to start playing defense all of a sudden and try to get their defenders down. So that's a big thing there, and especially special teams as well. You've been a contributor there. So, Todd, it's really good to have you. But I want to go off topic real quick. You told me that you were you got a cousin playing at Alabama. You want to talk about who that is?
Yep, that's the big guy. That's Derrick Henry. I was actually with him this weekend. I went out to the game and stuff like that. Yeah, it's Derrick Henry. We grew up. We have a very nice relationship, very close relationship. We grew up in rival towns, but the way our towns are set up, everyone knows everyone. I go. He's from Yulee, Florida. I'm from Fernandina Beach, Florida. I can go to Yulee and know everyone, and he can do the same in Fernandina. So, we hang out a lot when we're home. A lot of people come to me and it's like, they always want to talk about football when it comes to me and him. But one unique thing is that when we're together, we talk about football for probably 5 minutes out of the time we're together. We always talk about other stuff, just clowning around, laughing. So he's my cousin, and fortunately, we both, went to a Division I level and played football and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, I feel like even if we weren't family or stuff like that, we would still be cool. So, yeah, we have a very good relationship. He's doing great right now at Alabama, so shout out to number 27, man. That's my dog.
Number 27 had a pretty good game last week, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. He had a touchdown against Mississippi State, number 1 ranked team, contributed to their win. He was happy about that. I was also happy. I wanted they got a chance to do it, so especially him being my cousin, I wanted them to go ahead and take it home. So
now, Todd, when y'all were growing up, you told me when we was talking about it one day, you said that y'all used to have some foot races and you used to beat him, but now you said he'd probably beat you now, right?
Yeah, that was way back in the day, man. That's when I'm 3 years older than him, so I was kind of a little advanced, when we were that young when I beat him in the race. But nah, I ain't beating him now.
that was before the torn ACL.
Yeah.
Probably.
But he's a load. I watched him when he really got his first opportunity to kind of showcase his skills was against Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. And even though they came up on the short end of that game, it wasn't because of his effort. I mean, Oklahoma could not tackle the guy. He gets in the open field, man. He's a bowling ball rolling downfield. I know I wouldn't want to have to tackle that guy.
No, sir.
But I mean, I think that's great. I want to throw something else out there. We're kind of football junkies, man. We sit there and talk about you guys all day, every day. But I know some of these football players don't get together. It's like, man, we live and breathe this stuff all the time. We don't want to talk about football anymore. We talk about something else,
Yeah, it's even when I hang like any team I've been on, it's football, and we'll hang out and we'll talk about. We may get on the topic of our team or just like NFL or college football, but and it's not only with my cousin. Other guys I hang out with, oftentimes we talk about all kinds of other stuff besides football. Whether it's video games or whether we just want to go hang out or something, like that. Yeah, we breathe this stuff every day. It's sometimes it's kind of good to get a little break from it, but not too much.
And Todd, speaking of video games, I think I told you this, and I'm pretty sure you know this by now. But one time we were on the road, Matt. We was playing. It was either Mississippi College or the game after that. I don't remember which one it was, but we were playing NCAA, having a little tournament, and Todd was going to be in it, but we were looking at Boston College's roster, and you can download the names and stuff, and Todd is on there, and he's actually faster than Andre Williams and more agility rating. Todd is actually on the game, and he was about the same rating as Andre Williams, who was a Heisman contender. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah. I think they were going off. I think all those attributes were. Not to say, I think I'm, fully 100% for my ACL, but I think all those attributes were, before I tore my ACL, I think they were going off that. So, not Andre, anyone else, but I think before my ACL, if you put our stats up together, attributes, I think they were pretty close.
That's pretty cool.
You're doing right, they did. Now, let me ask you this, Taj. Just so he's kind of talking about some things off the field a little bit. Now, you went to Boston College, and I didn't know this until right before the show. You graduated from Boston College in communications, and now you're working on a master's program at UNA. What are you studying here at UNA?
Well, actually, right now I'm studying in the HPER program. When I met with them, I talked to them about kind of studying something kind of off subject or what I've already graduated. They were trying to tell me like that there's classes here that I didn't take at Boston College that were communication class that I could have taken and further my my education in communication. But I told them I wanted to do something different. They got me into the HPER program, which is what I wanted to do secondary at Boston College. But battling football in school, it was kind of tough to do two of them. So right now I'm in the HPER program and just going through that, trying to learn some new things. I feel like I kind of got a good grasp on communication stuff, so just trying to broaden my education and learn something new.
And that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for you down the road because, we all know that, and I hope you get the opportunity at the next level, whether it's the NFL or CFL or some other league, but we all know that you see that NCAA commercial that says just about all of us are going pro in something other than sports.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, you have to be prepared for that aspect of life. And I mean, I've never been to Boston College, but I'm very aware that it's a very good scholastic university. A lot of highly educated people come out of that place. So you have a great education already. You're getting to kind of add to that and still play football. So even if it doesn't work out in football post, your UNA career, it looks like it's going to work out for you off the field. And so that's going to be great for you.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I was shooting for as far as school. Even if I do go to the next level, I know that won't last forever, and I need something to fall back on. And football's been here for my whole life, and I just knew that it wasn't going to be here my whole life, throughout. So I knew afterwards I need something to fall back on. And my mom always told me, what you learn in school will always be there for you. So I just try to learn as much as I can so it could work out for me in the long run.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Taj. And it's very important to be good academically and on and off the field, just to be excel in your thing. And I know kind of how you are. I'm a communication major and an HPR minor, so you got those communication skills to apply to that HPE, and I'm going to apply my HPE skills to my communication. Mm-hmm. So, that's a big deal there. And graduating from Boston College is a big deal, as Matt said. Taj, right before we let you go, what do you think the keys to a win against Valdosta would be? We've already played them, so.
This is when people ask me, what are the keys to win, or how do I think we're going to do. Since I've been at the school, that's been my answer to everyone. We have to play our game. I don't feel like we have to worry about Valdosta or any other team. That's not to knock any other team, because we played a very close game with Valdosta and other teams too that are in the playoffs. But I just feel like if we do our job and we play our football, do what we need to do, we'll be all right. We have a very good team. It obviously shows in the playoffs, and we've been working hard. I feel like we're getting better, and I still don't feel like we've played our best football. The reaction we got yesterday from, what we seeded in the playoffs and who we're playing against, I feel like everybody's ready to focus in this week and finally play our best football. So I just feel like our keys to victory is just playing UNA football, playing Lion football, and, we'll be fine. So.
And you think that Lion football will probably, if we play that kind of game, could you see us in Kansas City in a few weeks?
Oh, yeah. That's the goal. People ask me when I'm coming home, I tell them December 20th. So that's where I plan to be. So.
That's right.
Playoffs going to let the Lions out the cage. You're going to show them something.
Exactly right. We're going to be uncaged that week and
yeah.
Try to get this win against Valdosta State, try to advance, and just keep on winning, taking it 1 week at a time. And I know that this team can do it, Matt. And Todd, as we let you go, we appreciate you coming on the show today, and did a great job for us. Appreciate you coming on today.
Yep, I appreciate you bringing me on, man. Shout out to Magic Mike, man. Whenever you ask me to come on, I'm ready to come on. So. I'm glad y'all had me on the show today, and I really enjoyed my time. So.
With this guy's voice over here, man, he sounds like a professional. I don't know if I want him back on. He's going to take my spot.
He might take my spot,
I like my spot. So, Todd, it's been an absolute pleasure, man.
I really appreciate
Need to have you on more, Todd. Appreciate you, man.
Anytime you hit me up, I'm ready to come. So just let me know, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, man. We just had a good interview with Taj Campbell, Boston College transfer running back, and he was really good for us. We appreciated him being on the show, and had a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Taj, he graduated from Boston College. I think he got a little bit of playing time there, Division I. And he's in a power conference, one of the 5 power conferences. He played at Boston College, so really lucky to have him. I'd like to see him get a few more carries. I'm not questioning what Coach Gross does. I know he does a phenomenal job. Obviously, as Taj mentioned, he buys into Coach Gross, and no complaints on carries there. I think he has a few more than Diamond does right now, overall carries, but I think a lot of those came earlier in the season. I'd like to see him play a little bit more just because I think he's a quality young man. And when I have seen him, he runs very hard between the tackles. But with Levante and Diamond, there's just a lot of talent on the field. And sometimes it's hard. I guess you got to go with the hot hand sometimes. But very fine young man. And I know North Alabama Lions are glad to have him.
All 3 of those guys, Taj Campbell, Diamond Simmons, and Lamonte Thompson, all different in their abilities. And Lamonte's pretty much been the guy. And then Diamond was kind of his backup. And then Taj coming in and contributing. All 3 of those guys really make each other better, in my opinion. But, Matt, before we go to high school, let's talk about the Super Region 2 real quick. We briefly talked about it, but I wanted to talk a little more. The seedings, of course, came out yesterday on NCAA, and, of course, they had the selection show for Division 2 and wrote down all the regions there. But they put us at number 4, taking on Valdosta again, a team that we beat on the last-second field goal earlier in the season. And I don't know if I really like that seeding, Matt. I honestly thought that maybe we should have been number 3 above Tuskegee, but things work out in different ways.
Well, 2 weeks ago we were number 3.
We were.
And all we did was thrash Shorter 45-7 and then beat West Alabama on the road 24-16. I don't understand how that drops us. Tuskegee had a couple close games in there. I don't understand if you had us. You should have had us number 4 2 weeks ago. Because there was no reason to drop us. That was my issue with it. If you put us number 4 2 weeks ago, whether I liked it, I'd say, well, that's your opinion.
We're number 4.
But then your reasoning for changing, it made no sense to me. With that being said, they still give the GSC a lot of respect. There's 3 conferences that fight for these 6 playoff spots in our region, and there's 4 of the 6 teams are from the Gulf South Conference.
That's exactly right.
So it's we're gonna if we play the type of football that's necessary to move on and to get out of the region, we're going to have to go through a lot of GSC teams. You're going to start with Valdosta. Now, the winner will play Lenore-Ryan, who knocked UNA out of the playoffs last year in the 3rd round, 42-39. You will play them, but then you'll play the winner of Delta against the West Georgia Tuskegee winner, and that's way down the road. Likely another GSC team. So I believe if UNA is to come out, they're probably going to have to beat two of their 3 games are going to get to be a Gulf South Conference opponent. And last week, I know I'm getting a little long-winded here, but last week when I talked to Coach Wallace after the West Alabama game down in Livingston, I asked him, I said, I don't know if I can get this out of you, but do you have a preference on a first-round opponent? He looked at me and said, anybody that's not from the GSC.
I agree.
Coach Wallace did not get his wish.
I think we're definitely, the GSC is definitely the SEC of the Division II level. I really think so. I really think it's a dominant conference. Getting 4 teams in there is a big deal, and then, of course, the SAC, of course, produced Lenore-Ryan, the 3-time champion there in a row, and then the SIAC, I believe is what it is. Tuskegee won that. They beat Albany State last week to barely make it in. And, the way they won that game, I was listening to it on the radio. Tuskegee won. They scored at the last second, and, they gave Albany State less than a minute to drive down the field. And on the kickoff, they got a safety on the kickoff, and I thought that was the craziest thing. But Albany State was that close to making it. Tuskegee might have dropped out in that case. I mean, if Albany State would have won. I don't know. West Georgia could have been the short end of the stick there.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure. And I do believe, I think the GSC is one of the best conferences. I don't know if it's the best. It's one of them. The conference has Northwest Missouri and Pittsburgh State.
That's a good conference, too.
That's a great conference. I can't think of the name.
Great Lakes, I think.
No, that's not the Great Lakes. That's got Grand Valley. That's a different conference.
Okay, they're
Grand
not
Valley
the
and
same.
Saginaw. It's like a Midwest something. But I believe that conference, not that conference, I believe that region is the best region. If you look at that region, because, you take 3 conferences.
You got a lot of ranked teams out of that.
I mean, they've got a team in there that's Henderson State that didn't even make it, that's in the top 10 in the country right now.
That used to be in the GSC, right?
Yeah, they used to be in the GSC, and they're now in the GAC, the Great American Conference.
Right.
I think it's the Great Lakes Great American Conference, and whichever one that Northwest Missouri's in, who's the defending national champions in Division II, and Pittsburgh State's in that conference, and they won it 3 years ago.
And beat them, and beat Northwest this year.
Yeah, they beat Northwest this year, so that's just a very good conference. I think Minnesota Duluth is the 4th seed. They won 2 national championships in the last 7 years. 4 seed, they're undefeated. So whoever comes out of that, that onslaught. I mean,
well, I honestly think that's probably the best super region, because I think the worst team the lowest seed is Harding, and they're 9-1. They were a really good team. Harding, of course, took it to us a couple of years ago, 38-10. So
there's 3 undefeated teams in there. Ouachita Baptist won the GAC. They're undefeated one. Number 2,
Mankato, Minnesota State.
Mankato, they're undefeated. Mm-hmm. Number 3 is Pittsburgh State. Now they have 1 loss, and they'll play
Duluth.
No, they'll play
Harding,
who's got 1 loss, the 6th seed, and then the 4 or 5 is Minnesota Duluth, who's undefeated, playing the 5 seed Northwest Missouri, who's got 1 loss to Pittsburgh. I mean, anybody could come out of that region.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and there could be an undefeated team knocked out in the first round. So
wow,
it's crazy. It's very crazy how it worked out. But in our region, I wanted to make the point though. I honestly still don't think Tuskegee should have jumped us, because think about this, Matt. I looked at the wins for Tuskegee. Their best wins are against Miles and Albany State. Albany State got destroyed by Valdosta early in the season. And then Miles was their other best win. Miles got destroyed by West Georgia, teams that we both beat. That was our best win and our second best win. West Georgia and Valdosta. So it didn't really make sense to me. Our strength of schedule was better in my opinion. But, it is what it is, and we'll take the 4th seed and have to play Valdosta. And I think a team out of the GSC for sure will probably come out of there unless, Lenore-Ryan, very competitive, and Tuskegee could be better than we think. But
Well, I think Lenore-Ryan is in a tough situation. I would rather be in Delta's spot than Lenore-Ryan's right now because Lenore-Ryan's got to play the winner of UNA or Valdosta.
that's tough.
I think that's both. I believe UNA and Valdosta are both better than West Georgia and Tuskegee. So I think that Delta's sitting in a better spot than Lenore-Ryan right now.
Yeah, Delta's definitely got to be thrilled about how it worked out for them. They're only lost to West Georgia, but then again, Delta having a rematch with West Georgia, that's probably what they want. So
Yeah, that's their only loss.
Yeah.
And what Delta turned the ball over a lot. Four turnovers in that game. Lost 24-16. I believe Delta is the better team. And if they get West Georgia at home, the first time they were at West Georgia, they get them at home. I think Delta takes care of business.
I think it'd be a different ball game, and I can honestly see it being UNA and Delta in a rematch in the quarterfinals.
Again, and I can see Valdosta coming out of this region. I think they've really found their rhythm. In that game, we played them, we beat them. Taylor Pontius kicked the 54-yard field goal. Broke the school record to win that game. But I'll tell you what, UNA got up 14-0 in the first 5 minutes, and in my opinion, Valdosta was the better team for the next 55 minutes.
Exactly right.
UNA did the things to keep themselves in the game, and they made the big field goal. But I felt like Valdosta outplayed us and ran the ball well with Cedric O'Neal and Jake Medlock, the quarterback. And so it's going to be tough. But I do think that I think UNA's toughest game in this, if they come out of the region, I think they're going to look back and say Valdosta was the toughest game.
And I agree with you 100%, man. They really gave us a contest. I think we'll be more motivated to beat Delta if we get by Valdosta. Valdosta's going to be tough, and they're going to take it to us just like anybody else would. Took us the last-second field goal to win that game, as you said. But, Matt, this team has really gotten a lot better since the start. They didn't have any turnovers last week against West Alabama. I was impressed. Only had 2 penalties. Great fundamental football. UNA's really gotten a lot better. Only gave up, technically 16, but if you really think about it, 10 points until that last-second play, which, we had already pretty much locked it up anyway. But a lot better defense. We can produce a lot of offense. We'll definitely have to bring out the offense against Valdosta's great defense. So
Absolutely.
It's going to be a competitive game.
And one last thing here. I know we're going to move into high school football, but, our linebacking core, to me, was the weakest part of our team. And I say that because it's hard to replace a Gabe Poe, a Breon James, and a Tavares Wilson.
All three.
Those guys were phenomenal. And, it's been by committee. There's different starters every week. But I believe that Stephen Rich, now he transferred in from Austin P, a FCS school, and it's taken him a while to learn because he was an outside backer in the spring, and now he's going to solidify the middle as the Mike linebacker. And he had a big interception in the red zone against West Alabama. And I think he's really kind of brought some consistency to that linebacking core in the middle. I really like Stephen Rich. I think the D-line's the strongest part of our defense. We've had both corners back, but we lost both safeties. And so it's kind of been a work in progress on defense, where last year I thought our defense was the best part of our team, and I thought our offense was very good, but I thought our defense was the strong suit. Well, this year, I think the offense is the stronger part, but I think the defense is coming together at the right time. I think UNA is a very dangerous team and have an excellent chance to come out of the region.
Yeah, I think the defense is actually, the past 2 or 3 games have been a lot stronger than we've seen all year. And, bringing in Xavier Triplett to help out at linebacker. Bud Coleman's back off of injury. That's going to be big for UNA. And Stephen Rich has really been the guy at linebacker. He's been the one, most consistent guy there. And I've been really impressed with the secondary as well. And, of course, not giving up the big play will be key against Valdosta. And I can see UNA beating Valdosta this round and advancing, but I could also see Valdosta coming in and getting the win. It's going to go either way, Matt. And I think this will be the most competitive game of the playoffs in the first round.
You're going to hate me for this. You are. I know it.
Don't do it, Matt. Don't do it. Let's go ahead and go to high school before you do it.
All right.
Go ahead if you want to, though. But
it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. It's hard. And as well as Valdosta played against us, I think it's going to be really hard for UNA to win this game. I think if I really believe this, if UNA beats Valdosta State, I believe they will win the region. I think they'll come out and get to the semifinals. And I believe the region we play in this, I'm going to take it a step further because I think the weakest super region is the region that will play in the semifinals.
Region 4 with Ferris State at number 1, who's barely won most of their games.
Slippery Rocks in that, and Westchester.
No. That's Slippery and Westchester's in.
No, that's who will play.
No. We're matched up before this year, I think.
Well, okay.
I looked at the bracket this year. I think we switched it.
Well, then I'm getting ahead of myself because I just remember that's who we matched up with last year.
Yeah, I think they changed it.
I didn't know it changed. Okay.
But still weak.
But I think we're the second toughest region. That one we mentioned earlier, That's, to me, by far the toughest region.
3 is the toughest. I agree.
But if UNA beats Valdosta State, I think they will win the region and go to the semifinals and maybe beyond. I don't think that's where they would end for them. I just have to take a look at who's there at that time. But that's just hard to beat the same team twice. I certainly hope the Lions can do it. I'll be there, noon kickoff, ready to go, excited as I'll get out. But I just think it's going to be very, very difficult to beat a team twice in the same year, especially a team that almost beat us the first time, and they're going to be hungry for that win the second time.
This could be the toughest game that we face in the playoffs. I definitely think that with all my heart. It's going to be tough, and we do have the home field advantage. I have the home crowd behind us again.
If we get to the final, if we get to the championship game, I think whoever we play from that region, we mentioned earlier, because I'm certain whoever comes out of that will be in the championship game. I think that'll be the toughest game UNA plays.
Well, yeah, aside from Valdosta, but I think this will be a very tough game. And then if we get to that championship game, it'll be tough regardless. It don't matter which one of those teams we play. And I think Northwest Missouri State will probably, or Pittsburgh State won. I mean, you never know. It could be any of those teams.
You just don't know. They're that good. I mean, they really are. But our region's good, so very excited. I never picked Valdosta.
Good.
I just said it's tough to beat the team twice, so we're going to leave it at that right now.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that right now. And, of course, as you said, Matt, noon kickoff for UNA and Valdosta State. It will be at Brawley Stadium. Hope to see you there for that. But now we got to talk about high school football because we're in the third round of the playoffs, Matt. And we did have a couple teams get knocked out. Muscle Shoals, they lost 35-14 to Clay Chalkville, who is the number one team in the state of 6A. So, tough loss for them, but they were pretty competitive in that, and they had a decent run moving up from 5A to 6A.
Yeah, they did. They really did. It took them a while to find their footing. They kind of struggled early on, but by the end of the season, I think they won 5 out of 6 or something. Really found their footing there in 6A. Coach Basden has done a great job there. I mean, they're just a very good football program. They got tremendous facilities over there, some of the best in the state, and they're going to start to make their mark in 6A more as time moves on. But they play Clay Chalkville, who is the number one team in 6A. As you mentioned last week on the show, the number one ranked team in the whole state of Alabama, all classes. And Clay Chalkville scored 85 points in their first round playoff game.
It's incredible.
That's unbelievable. And in 35-14, it was 28-14 in the fourth quarter at one time. Muscle Shoals went down there and put up a fight. They were just outmatched, but I give them a lot of credit. They got to the second round of the playoffs in their first year in 6A. I think the future is very bright for the Muscle Shoals Trojans.
I agree with you 100%. And another reason why the future is bright for them is because their quarterback is a junior, Landon Smothers. He's going to be coming back, and I think that's the offensive coordinator's son, so that's a big deal there. And then Doc Wells, the running back who's really came along lately, he's going to be back. And, of course, they are going to lose Demetrius Abernathy, who was kind of limited this year a little bit, and Corey Beckwith, their middle linebacker. They had another defensive end, Parker Ballantyne, has been really good. They're going to lose some of those guys, but getting the quarterback and the running back, that's the core of their team. They're going to be good in a few years.
Yeah, and Landon Smothers was the starter last year on the team that went to the 5A state championship game where they lost to Spanish Fort. So, I mean, he's going to be a 3-year starter next year. He's going to have a lot of experience, and we know how important the quarterback position is. So I think Muscle Shoals has got a lot of good things to look forward to next year.
I absolutely agree with you. Another one of those teams that got knocked out, Matt, in 3A is Lauderdale County, and we really we're impressed with them coming out of the toughest region, arguably in the state, pound for pound, in 3A Region 8. Madison Academy, Lauderdale County, Colbert County, and then Lexington even they barely got knocked out in the first round by one seed Oakman. But Lauderdale County got knocked out, lost 17-14 to undefeated Glencoe, who will play Colbert County this week. Lauderdale County, so there's not going to be a rematch there, Matt, and excuse you. We were both kind of rooting for the rematch there, Lauderdale County and Colbert County in the quarterfinals. We thought it'd be kind of cool, but came up just short there on the road. They had a good run though, with 9-3, 6-1 in the region, and now they're really going to be hurting though, Matt. They're losing Noah Bishop. They're losing their quarterback, of course. They're losing Zach Simbeck, who's really been the main guy for them on offense. And Zach Davis, a commit to South Alabama, a tight end. They're going to lose him, and Tyler Springer at linebacker. They're losing a lot of guys, but. So it's going to be a little tougher for Lauderdale County, but they always just seem to be there and always seem to rebuild. And they got another guy coming back, John Trousdale. He's their do-it-all guy. He's a returner, kick returner, punt returner, plays a little bit of running back, wide receiver, plays a lot of defense. This guy, John Trousdale, is really good, going to be the core of that team. And Lauderdale County, they just always seem to just reload and always seem to be at the top.
Yeah, they are. They're just a very good football program. just like kind of like Muscle Shoals. They're just a bad year for them is still a good year for most.
That's right.
But they had a 14-3 lead against Glencoe. I really thought they were going to pull that out. They had a 14-3 lead, and Glencoe made the plays in the second half and blanked them, I believe, 14-0. I think it was 14-3 at half. And so you got to give Glencoe the credit. But Lauderdale County, good year. I thought they were going to go farther than that. I thought we were going to see a Lauderdale County rematch. Lauderdale County beat Colbert County earlier in the year. I was looking forward to that rematch this week. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. But Glencoe deserves the credit. I think Lauderdale County will be just fine moving forward. Like you mentioned, they always seem to reload. So it's going to be fun to watch them next year. But I'll tell you what, look forward to some of these games we have this week.
I really am too, and of course it's unfortunate to see Lauderdale County go out, but we got 4 really good games coming up this week, Matt. And let's start in 6A. We got Florence. They advanced. They beat Shades Valley last week in their rematch, 43-21. Of course, that's a game they lost 37-35 in week 1. Shades Valley without their starting quarterback, but Florence, just regardless, is a tough team, and I think they would have beat Shades Valley even with their starting quarterback.
Yeah, we'll never know. I mean, it was 37-35 in the first game. They beat them 43-21 in this game, and and it was 43-7 in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. So obviously the quarterback meant a lot. I mean, the first game was very high scoring. I'm sure Shades Valley would have scored more often with their quarterback, but I think Florence was poised for a run. I kind of mentioned all year I think they're a contender. I think they're going to make their way to. I think they're going to win. Well, I do think they're going to win. I'm going to say that. I think they're going to beat Gardendale. Got them 38-21. I know they're on the road, but they're playing too good. I think Clay Chalkville will win again, and I think they'll play Clay Chalkville in the semifinals, which should be a fantastic football game.
I agree 100%. Clay Chalkville's actually got to go on the road and play Decatur next round, a team that Florence actually played and beat. Yeah, man, I agree with you there. I think Florence will really make a run at the semifinal. I think they'll win this game against Gardendale, and of course Clay Chalkville on the other side of that, they had to play Decatur on the road. Clay Chalkville's got to go on the road and play Decatur, a team that Florence actually beat this year. Muscle Shoals even beat Decatur, so I think I can see Clay Chalkville and Florence in the semifinal there. I like Florence in this game to win 28-14, go on the road, get a big win. And Gardendale actually isn't as good on the road. They're 5-1 on the road, but not as good at home. They're 3-3 at home. So,
what was your final score?
My final score?
Yeah,
28-14.
28-14. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I had said it or not, but Gardendale is actually not as good as home though. They're 3-3 at home and 5-1 on the road. So Gardendale more of a road team, but Florence is going to come in. I believe they'll get the win and advance to the semifinals. So that'd be big for Florence. I don't know when the last time was. They almost advanced to the semifinal last year against Hoover and lost very close.
21-20. I was at that game.
Very close.
And they had a lot of chances to win.
Oh yeah, very close game. And so Florence has another chance to advance to the semifinals. We'll see if they do it. Deschler in 4A now. They're going to be advancing to take on Fayette County. They're going to go on the road. Deschler pulled out a 36-14 win against Sax, and I don't think either of us thought that Deschler would get the win there. I think we both picked Sax. Sax is a very good team, and that's a very good quality win for Deschler. And advancing to play Fayette County, that's a big deal for the Deschler community.
Well, absolutely. And, after they beat Hamilton 22-21, scored a touchdown late in the game, went for 2 to get the win. They could have just kicked the PAT and played overtime. They found a way to win. I wasn't at that game. You were at that game, and maybe Hamilton as a 4 seed was just a lot better than I ever imagined them to be. And I said, well, maybe our 4A is just a little weaker than I thought, and maybe Deschler's not that good. So I picked Sax just kind of based on what I read about Sax. But, Deschler just really took it to him, 36-14, controlled the whole game. It was never really that close. And, so I think Deschler's playing great football. But Fayette County, I know they played Central in the first round. And they got a running back by the name of Jerkyle Knowles, and man, he is I think he had over 300 yards rushing. He had a Melvin Gordon-esque game. If you had to see Nebraska, Wisconsin
that
this week.
Was crazy.
But he was phenomenal in that game, and I don't know where he's committed to. I was told, but he is, I think, a 3 or 4 star prospect, and he's just a phenomenal runner. I just think it's going to be too much of him. Deschler will give up points. I've seen him throughout the year give up points. They will score some points. But I think just too much Fayette County in that game. 45-28 Fayette County.
45-28. Wow, that's definitely that big of a margin there. But let's talk about Fayette County's region there, 4A Region 5. And that's another one of those really tough regions that are just really good. And if you look on the other side of the bracket there, Cordova and Haleville are both from the same region as Fayette County. Hamilton lost by 1 to Deschler. So Hamilton nearly advanced against Deschler. and that could be a whole quarterfinal of Region 5 teams from that Class 4A. So, that's a big deal. That's just a very tough region. And, of course, Fayette County, probably the better team. I like Deshler to get the upset, Matt. I really do. I think playing that well against a team like Sacs, a team that nearly advanced to the semifinals in Class 3A last year, a very good 3A. I think they got knocked out by Madison Academy. Oh, they advanced to the semifinals and got knocked out by Madison Academy. Let me get my teams right. They beat Colbert County and advanced to play Madison Academy in the semifinals. But now in 4A, Deshler pulled a big win against them. They've looked a lot better, and even a win against Hamilton. Hamilton actually played Fayette County pretty close, so that could be a really good game. I'm going to say, since Deshler does not have an extra point kicker, by the way, I meant to tell you that's probably why it was 22-21. They couldn't kick, so they had to go for 2.
They don't have a kicker?
Not that I know of. I didn't see a kicker, so they had to go for 2 every time.
Wow.
And I think that's what's going to be the difference in this game. I say they go for 2, get the win, 29-28. I'm picking Deshler in the upset. I think they could do it. I'm rooting for the teams that are around here. I think they could get the win, Matt.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah, we will for sure. And another one of those local teams, Colbert County is going to be at home this week, surprisingly, and they're going to be playing Glencoe, the team that knocked out Lauderdale County last week. And Colbert County advanced. They beat Plainview 34-7. Plainview really, they were the 1 seed in a very not so good region. I mean, Colbert County coming out of one of the best regions in the state. And really took it to Plainview, and of course they won in their first round game 49-30 against Winfield. So Colbert County, since losing to Brooks in the last week, we didn't know exactly how good they would be. We thought, it was kind of a question mark, because when you lose to a team like Brooks that didn't make the playoffs, you don't know what's going to happen. But they've really came on the past couple of weeks, got big wins. They're in the quarterfinals playing a Glencoe team. Colbert County's looking good, Matt.
Yeah, they really are. I'm going to mention that Colbert County Brooks game. I actually thought Brooks had a real good chance in that game. They had just lost a heartbreaker to Central the week before that eliminated them from the playoffs, and after losing that and missing the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, those seniors wanted to go out with a win.
They sure did.
They wanted to go out with a win. and anyways, Mike. Okay, let me start this segment over. Well, okay, all right.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You got me giggling. I was locked in there.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. All right, so Colbert County. Mention that Colbert County Brooks game. I had a feeling that Brooks could pull that upset. Colbert County was solidified as the 3 seed. It was a non-region game. Brooks had just lost to Central 5-3 in a heartbreaking game, and it's the first time that Brooks missed the playoffs in 16 years in that game. So all those seniors, they wanted to go out with a win. They had a lot of incentive in that game. I don't believe Colbert County had much. I'm not saying they didn't try to win. I just don't think they had a lot of incentive for the game.
I mean, they played their starters, so it was kind of surprising, but
Yeah.
But you're right. Brooks was definitely more motivated.
Yeah, I think so. They did play, and listen, I'm not saying they didn't try to win the game, but motivation's a big key. And I think that Brooks just really wanted to go out on top, or finish off the year the right way. And Colbert County, they really got rolling late in the season. I kind of said all along I wanted to see them play Lauderdale County again, because I thought they'd beat them in a rematch. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that, but I think Colbert County's really playing well. A guy named Myron Smith is a great running back for them. Another guy named can't ever get his name right, Carnavia or Qualls or
Kiarve Qualls.
Yeah, Carnavia. It's all the way up. Kiarve Qualls, another just kind of do-it-all player for them. Very dynamic team. They're in the 3rd round. If they win, they get to play Madison Academy, which I think is probably where their season would end if they do win.
I agree.
But they're playing Glencoe undefeated. Glencoe came back and beat a tough Lauderdale County team last week, 17-14. But I'm going to take Colbert County at home, 21-20. Very, very hard-fought game. A little too much, few too many athletes. Few too many dynamic players for Colbert County, and I think that's going to be the difference.
Man, I think Colbert County is actually pretty happy that they lost to Lauderdale County in the regular season, because they got the better draw. I really think they got the better draw here, because they actually get to play Glencoe at home, and of course they had to play Plainview, which wasn't that hard of a game for them. That was actually an easier game than Lauderdale County having to go and play Glencoe. So Colbert County really got the best draw there. Now they have a great chance because they're at home. Lauderdale County had to go on the road last week, so they get Glencoe at home, an undefeated team. Glencoe's a really good team. And, like you said, they in the second half came from behind to get that win. Colbert County could get the win here, and both teams have a high-scoring offense. Glencoe averaging 39 points a game, and Colbert County averaging 35. So I can see it being a close game. I'm going to take Glencoe on the road. I think Glencoe will come in here and get the win, 34-28. I just think they're that good, man, and I think they might actually give Madison Academy a run. I think Madison Academy will beat them, but I think out of all the teams in the Class 4 or 3A Region 8 North Sub-State Division, I'd say Glencoe would probably give them the best run. So I'm going to go Glencoe on the road there. And finally, we're going to throw in a bonus team here. We're going to talk about Haleville for a minute as we get ready to wrap it up. I just wanted to talk about them real quick. They're playing Cordova. We talked about that tough Region 5 in Class 4A, so I thought I'd throw Haleville in there. And they upset Aniana last week, the reigning champion from 4A. Aniana won state last year, and then Haleville goes in and beats them 41-14. So that was really surprising to me, Matt. So.
Yeah, I just tried to do some quick research beforehand. I haven't followed Aniana or Haleville or Cordova very much this year. Haleville had a big win. I'm familiar with Cordova when they pulled off a really, really tight overtime win against Wilson. And we covered Wilson all season. Cordova's on the road, and really when it just came down to who I was picking, I just kind of looked at some scores and said, feels like a toss-up to me. So I'm going to go with Haleville 31-28 just based off being the whole team.
Matt, I think you copied my paper. I'm going to go Haleville 31-28 as well. I think that's really what the score's going to be. And they won the regular season, Haleville against Cordova, 35-28. So 31-28 is a fair score there. Cordova edged Wilson and Cleveland County by 3 points and 1 point respectively. So Cordova, a tough team as well. And that region, again, I have to say just how tough it is. And it could be, based on our picks, it could be a 4A Region 5 semifinal just all together. I mean, if Deshler doesn't make it, that's the only hope for any other region. So that's how it's looking. But I'm going to go Haleville as well. But before we wrap it up, Matt, let's go real quickly. Let's do our state champion picks again. We got it updated. My pick in 7A, Fairhope got knocked out, so I guess I'm going to jump on the Hoover bandwagon.
What's the matchups left there?
We got Foley taking on Prattville in the semifinal, and then Hoover and Gaston City. So
I think it'll be a Hoover-Prattville matchup.
I'm going to say Hoover and Foley. I think Foley will beat Prattville,
Wow.
so it could go either way. I'm going to say Hoover, though, obviously. And 6A here, I know you're pretty big on Florence right now, so.
I know Clay Chalkville's the team, but I'm rolling with Florence. I know everybody else rolling with Clay Chalkville, and for good reason, but I think it's Florence's year. I think the Falcons are going to bring home the state championship. Spanish Fort, I think, still lingering on that other side is going to be scary, but I like Florence.
You're right. Spanish Fort, you got McAdory down there, which is Darian Pippin's old high school.
Oh, yeah.
And see, Bo Jackson's from there, too. So.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Spanish Fort, I think they'll advance to the final. They had to get past Hillcrest and Saraland, but Clay Chalkville's my favorite right now. I'd like to see Florence get it, but I think Clay Chalkville is really the cream of the crop there. And you got a 5A now. I don't know. I've been on St. Paul's all year. They got a big win last week, 38-7. Former Colbert County coach, Coach Mask, is down there coaching. He had a lot of he produced A.J. McCary, Jacob Coker, a lot of guys like that, and a couple of UNA guys, Trayon Tate, Jalen Green. So I'm still going St. Paul's in 5A. A lot of teams that can give them some competition, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just real tough. I think I picked Viger earlier, and they're out. So, I just don't think I can make a real good pick right now because I just don't know enough about these teams.
Well, East Limestone was a team that kind of beat Russellville, and they're still in it. They're in.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't think that's the team that's going to win.
Yeah. I'm still going to go St. Paul's, though. In 4A, Fayette County's good. And then, of course, all the teams in the South, Leeds, UMS Wright, Strawn. I think UMS Wright will get upset this week. Strawn's a very good team. I got Leeds winning it all, though.
UMS Wright.
UMS Wright. Okay, 3A, still sticking to Madison Academy.
Madison Academy.
And Gordo against them in the final there. 2A, I'm going Fife again. They're playing Tanner. I think the winner of that game wins state.
Mike, you get these 2A and 1A without the local region, man. I'm throwing darts, buddy.
Hey, yeah, I agree with you, but I'll go Fife, though. I know a little bit of Fife. They've really dominated Sand Mountain, so I'll go with them. And then 1A, it's always Brantley, so
I'll take Brantley by default.
By default, that's it. Matt, that's it. That's all we got today on Fox Sports Shoals Friday Night Football Live High School. And had a good talk with Taj Kimball today for the UNA recap. And for some reason, we wore the same shirt. We didn't really coordinate that out, so we apologize if you're seeing all kinds of same shirt deals.
No, we like Fox Sports Shoals 97.9. Make sure you tune in. Some great listening there, some great radio, and always Friday night.
Repping the team right here. So we appreciate Jay Diggy being here to produce the show for us today. And for Matt Suleski, I'm Mike Ezekiel. Thank you for tuning in.